Welcome to Be More Yogic. My name's Amanda D. So, we're going to begin on our backs today. You'll need a block, 2 blocks if your hamstrings are tight. So, come to lie down, have your feet as wide as your mat, and just allow your knees to knock together. Rest your hands on your belly, and just allow yourself to soften into the floor. See if you can breathe into the belly towards your hands. So every time you inhale, your belly inflates like a balloon. Every time you exhale, the belly draws in towards the spine. So you inhale, breathe towards your hands, and you exhale and you soften completely. Now as you breathe deeply, I just want you to notice the natural curves of the spine. So you'll feel where the lower back, the bottom makes contact with the floor. Then there's a lift through the lower back, the lumbar curve. Then you feel the middle back come down to the floor, it's the thoracic spine. And then again, the spine moves away from the floor in the neck, the cervical spine. And then you'll feel the head come into contact. So even though we say a flat back, we actually have like a wavy line in the spine. So we're trying to extend these wavy lines when we create length. Now if you feel your hip points to your pubis, you want to feel that they're in line with each other, parallel to the floor. So you might have to, a tiny little bit, increase the lower back curve. Now try to maintain that natural lumbar curve. Grab a block, bring the block in between the inner thighs. So the tendency will be for the lower back to flatten out, which is fine in some core work, but for today I want you to maintain your natural curves. Squeeze the block and lift the legs up towards the ceiling, pressing through the heels. And you're going to reach your arms above your head. Now just know if this is too much on your back, you shouldn't feel it in your back at all. You can have your arms alongside your body. Hook your thumbs above your head otherwise. Take a deep breath in, squeeze the block. And as you exhale, lower the legs 1/3 of the way. Stay there, keep the lower ribs drawing in so they're not popping out. And then either stay here or exhale, lower the legs 2/3 of the way. Take a breath in, lengthen. And then maybe hover the heels off the floor, maintaining the natural curves. Lower ribs in. Inhale, slowly lift the legs up. Exhale, lower the legs 1/3 of the way, squeeze your block, take a breath in. Exhale, lower the legs 2/3 of the way. Lengthen, breathe in. Natural lumbar curve, exhale, the heels hover off the floor. Take a breath in and lift the legs back up. Inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, lower 1/3 of the way. Inhale, lower ribs in. Exhale, lower 2/3 of the way. Take a breath in. Maybe hover the heels off the floor. Slowly lift the legs up. Let's do 4 more of those. Just move into your own breath now. You exhale, you lower. Maybe hover the heels, remember that's an option. belly drawing in towards the spine, emptying completely at the bottom of the exhalation. Two more. Press through the heels. One third of the way. Natural lumbar curve. 2/3 of the way. Inhale. Take the block from between the inner thighs and place your feet onto the floor. You're going to lift your hips up. Now taking the block underneath the sacrum on the second height. So these blocks come in 3 heights. Smallest, second, highest height. So for now, just come onto the second height. Make sure the block isn't in the lower back. It's actually on the sacrum bone, which is a little lower. Roll the shoulder blades on the back. Lift your right knee. Hold onto the top of the right foot and slide the pointed foot alongside the block. Now if this is too much on the top of the foot, you can just extend the right leg forward instead, this way. But don't let the leg roll out to the side. Keep the inner thigh rolling down, the outer thigh rolling up. You should get the same kind of stretch in that hip flexor, the psoas muscle. Lower ribs softening. Now if you still have a little bit more room, you can draw your left knee into your belly and hold onto the knee, either with one or both hands. Keep hugging your right knee to the midline. Deep breaths, always working with the breath. You can spin the ankle, just creating a little bit more fluid in the joint. Should never feel any pain in your knees. If you do, you come out of the pose immediately. Couple more breaths. Step the left foot onto the floor, extend your right leg up in the air, press through the heel, and just circle the ankle a few times, opposite direction. And then place your right foot on the floor. Let's change sides. Lift the left knee, hold onto the top of the left foot, slide it alongside the block. Again, if this is too much for you on your foot or your knee, then instead just extend left leg forward, rolling the inner thigh down, outer thigh up, so the toes point straight up. And then optional, draw your right knee in towards your belly to go a little deeper, holding on with one hand or both hands. Keep hugging your left knee into the midline. You want to feel like you're lengthening from the left outer hip to the left outer knee and shortening from the left inner knee to the left inner thigh. Of course, you'll be feeling, as well as the hip flexor, you'll feel the quad stretching, the top of the foot stretching maybe. Maybe circle that right ankle. 2 more breaths. Gently release. Lift the left leg in the air, press through the heel. Turn the ankle one direction and then the opposite direction. And then place the foot down. Now you're going to lift your hips and flip the block down to the smallest height. Now this time I do want you to slide the block into the lower back where we usually don't want it. Now just check to see that it's in the right place. You should be able to lift your whole back off the floor. Now I want you to keep your shoulders lower than your hip points because we're going to strengthen the rectus abdominis, the front of the abdomen, with the muscles in an extended position rather than them being in a contracted position, which teaches us how to do drop backs into wheel, which we're going to do later. And it also, when you're strengthening a muscle from its extended position, you keep the muscles long and lean in their strength. So reach your arms forward, take a deep breath in. We're going to hold for the count of 20. Exhale, lift. And lower. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, lift your whole back off the floor. And lower. And take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift. And lower. Take a breath in. And exhale, lift. And lower. 2 more. Take a deep breath in. And lift. And lower. Okay, 1 more. Deep breath in, belly soft. And exhale, lift. Release down. Lengthen the tail. Engage the lower buttocks, the top of the hamstrings. Roll the inner thighs down. Press into your inner heels, lift your hips up. Remove the block out of the way. Interlace your fingers, get your shoulder blades underneath you. Press your fists down, and as you push with your feet, your chest will come closer to your chin. And then try to keep the chest where it is and extend the knees in the opposite direction. So the knees are moving away from the head. So you're trying to traction out your spine. Lift the lower tips of the sit bones up a little higher. Try not to let the knees wing out, so the outer hips to the outer knees grow longer, the inner knees to the inner thighs grow shorter. So it's like you're hugging to the midline, squeezing your legs towards each other without the knees actually moving. Open the throat slightly. And then gently release the hands. Lower your back to the floor. Extend your legs forward. The mini Shavasana. Draw your knees in. Now sit yourself up. Come into child's pose. Extend the arms forward. Release the forehead down. Have your elbows extended off the floor like you would in your down dog. Spreading your fingers. Center of the palms as wide as the outer shoulders. Biceps up. Triceps roll down. And then inhale, come forward into cow spine. Keep your hands where they are, shoulders over your wrist. Exhale, press back to child's pose. And again, inhale, cow spine, rock forward, shoulders over wrist. Belly in, exhale, child's pose. Inhale, cow spine. And exhale, child's pose. Now curl your hands a little more forward, and this time you're going to bring your hips all the way forward. Modified up dog with the knees down, chest forward of the arms, and then exhale back to child's pose. Maybe tuck your toes under. And then again, inhale, modified up dog. Pull the heart through, belly in to support. Exhale, tuck the toes, child's pose. Inhale, modified up dog. Pull the heart through, shoulders away from the ears. And this time tuck your toes under. Lift your hips, lifting from the belly. Down dog. Adjust your hands and feet. Feet about 2 fist distance apart, which is about hip distance. Sit bone distance. Biceps up, triceps down. Lift through the lower belly. Try to reach your heels towards the floor. Squeeze your arms in energetically towards each other. Maybe you want to pedal out your legs, bending one knee, pressing from the right hand to the left heel, and then bend your left knee, press from your left hand to your right heel, and then do that a few times. This would just warm up your hamstrings, warm up your knees, your hips. Lift up high in your tippy toes, reach your sit bones high. Bend the knees, press your belly back to your thighs. If your hamstrings are tight, stay here. And then if your hamstrings are open, reach your heels back, straightening through the legs. Step your left foot a little closer to your right and lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Breathe in, hips square. Exhale, knee to nose, round the spine, lifting your hips high. Now keep your right knee bent, scorpion plank, shoulders over your wrist, toes to your head, look forward. Exhale, knee to nose and round. Scorpion plank, inhale, toes to head, pull the heart through. Exhale, knee to nose and round. Scorpion plank, inhale, pull the heart through. And then exhale, lift the hips high so you can lightly step the right foot between your hands. Knee over the ankle, hips same height as front knee. Lower your back knee down to the floor. Pull your hips back and lift your arms up. Compact your hips in. Pull the belly back, lengthen the tail, and then press the hips forward. Try to keep the back bend out of the body just for now. You're going to take your right hand either onto your hip. You can also have a block to the side of the hip, or your fingertips to the floor. Try not to lean forward. You want to be leaning back. Wrap the left hip forward, right hip back, and then lean back with the heart. 3 breaths, inhale. Exhaling 1. Right sit bone to tailbone, inhale. Exhaling 2. Last one, inhale. And exhaling 3. You're going to pull your hips back with the toes tucked under in the back. Sit onto the heel. Now if that's too much, you can always put a block under the right sit bone. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Flex that front foot. 3 breaths, inhale. Exhaling 1. Inhale. Exhaling 2. That's 1. Exhaling 3. Curl yourself forward, step the right foot a little more forward, and then parallel your feet to the side wall. Make sure the toes are parallel or turned in, definitely not turned out. Move the weight over the arches of the feet, rooting down through the outer heels, and then lengthen and fold. If you really tighten your hamstrings, it's better to stay in a flat back so you're not rounding in your lower back. If your hamstrings are really open, sit bones together, lower belly lifts, and then reach the heart to the floor. So there's a support through the top of the hamstrings and through the front of the hip points. Let your head go. Feel the outer heels pressing and the big toes. So you've got a clear definition of your feet, a footprint on the floor. Reverse swan dive up to standing, breathe in. And then turn the right toes forward, finding warrior 2. See that your front thigh is parallel to the floor. Lift the right hip point up, so your pelvis is not tilting to one side. Look forward. And then inhale, straighten through the front leg. Exhale, warrior 2. Check the front knee over your little toe. Just a few more times. Inhale. Just warming up the hips. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Now inhale, this time, side angle pose. Right elbow onto the thigh, left arm alongside your ear. Try not to sink into your shoulder, so keep lifting out so that you're using more of your core. Now if you concave your belly back, the belly will tone, and that should give you the space to bring your fingertips to the inner heel. Now if you find that it's hard for you to wrap your right sit bone underneath you, then just stay here. Extend through the left arm, look up under the armpit. Back leg completely straight, but you don't want to lock the knee. You want to lift the kneecap up and press into the foot. Lean the head and heart back. 3 more breaths, inhale. Exhaling 1. 2 breaths, inhale. Exhaling 2. Last one, try to keep the weight in that front heel as well as the ball of the foot. Exhale 3. Coming into low lunge, inhale. Lower your back knee to the floor as you adjust your feet. Lift your arms up, inhale, pull your hips back. This time, hands to prayer, take a twist over to the right. Press your right knee to the right, and then push down with your top hand into your lower hand to lift your heart to your thumbs. Shoulders relax away from the ears. Lift your belly completely off your thigh so you're not sinking. Compact your outer hips in, lifting your pelvic floor muscles to stabilize the hips. Lean the head and heart back. 2 more breaths. You can feel like you're squeezing your legs towards each other, like you're closing a pair of scissors. And then hands to blocks or to the floor as you inhale. Lift the back leg up, standing split. Have the weight right over the arch of the foot. For today, square your hips, roll the left inner thigh up. And then reach your heart towards the floor, and then relax the head. If you're very open, again, you want to lift through the lower belly. So the support for the top of the hamstring And so there's support for the hip flexor. Lift that top leg a little higher. You should feel the hamstring kicking in. You probably won't be able to get the leg up as high as if the hip was open, but you're building strength on the inner rotators, which are usually a little weaker than the outer rotators of the leg. Step your feet together. Inhale, come into a flat back. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, micro bend the knees. Weight forward in the feet, heels ground. Exhale, fold. So try not to rock back as you come into a flat back, which will be a tendency. And that strains the top of the tendons of the hamstrings. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive up to standing, breathe in. Lengthen. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of the heart. Arms reach up towards the ceiling, inhale. Hands shoulder distance apart, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Move the weight back into the heels like you're trying to sit back into a chair. Lift through the lower belly, lengthen the tail. And then move your arms behind your ears so the heart's really open. It's kind of a feeling of knees, chest, chin, throat slightly open. Now from here we're going to draw your left knee towards your right knee as you bend it, holding onto the ankle. Squeeze the heel towards your bottom as you roll that left shoulder blade on the back. Now keeping the right arm reaching up towards the ceiling, start to reach the left knee back. Belly in for support. Try to lift more through the inner thigh as you kick the foot back into the hand. Lift the gaze, look forward. Keep lifting through the hamstring. It's called King Dancer. A few more breaths. Inhale. Exhaling 1. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhaling 2. Last 1. Exhaling 3. Come back to your chair pose. Inhale. Stay there, sit a little lower. Exhale. Stand up. Hold onto your right ankle. Knees together. Squeeze the heel towards your bottom and roll that right shoulder blade on the back. Lengthen your tail down towards the hamstrings. Try not to push your hips forward. Hips back, tail lengthens. Kick the foot back and start to reach the heart forward. Left arm moves behind the ear. Belly in. Roll the right inner thigh up towards the ceiling. Use the right hamstring to lift the leg higher. 3 breaths. Inhale. Last 1. Chair pose, inhale. Swan dive and fold. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back. Exhale, step the left foot back, low lunge. Step back to plank pose, inhale. Lower down, child's pose, exhale. Roll yourself up to sit on your heels. Take your fingertips behind you. Now if it's hard for you to reach back, you can always have your hands on blocks again. Fingers pointing back. Bend the elbows and then wrap the elbows towards each other. Drawing the shoulder blades on the back, lifting through the heart. Stay in your fingertips. Now you're either going to stay here. Some of you can lift your hips. Try not to push through the hips. So hips a little soft. Instead, lengthen the tail and get the back bend more in the top of the spine. And then if it feels good to you, maybe lengthen the back of the neck and drop the head completely. Modified camel. Exhale, bottom to heels. Come forward into plank pose, inhale. Lower all the way to the belly. Come forward and up into cobra. And then press back to down dog. Biceps up, triceps down. Lengthen the spine back. Step your right foot a little closer to your left and inhale if your left leg in the air, hips square. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over your wrists, round the spine, lift your hips high. Scorpion plank, shoulders over your wrists, look forward, toes to head. Exhale, knee to nose and round. Scorpion plank, inhale, belly in. Exhale, knee to nose and round. Scorpion plank, inhale. And then exhale, lightly step the left foot between your hands. Knee over the ankle, hips same height as front knee. Lower your back knee to the floor. Pull your hips back, reach your arms up, taking the back bend out. You want to drop down through the left sit bone, lift up through the right. Either take your left hand onto your left hip, pressing your hips forward, the navel pulls back. Some of you will take your hand onto a block, or take your hand to the floor. Again, you don't want to be leaning forward, so the hand right next to the hip, lean back. Look up under the armpit. Reach from finger to right knee. 3 breaths. One more. Hands to the floor, inhale, and then sit back on your tucked toes. Heel comes right between your bottom cheeks. Lift the heart, flex the front foot, and then fold. 3 breaths, inhale. Exhaling 1. Inhale. Exhaling 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Curl yourself forward, step that left foot a little more forward, and then parallel your feet to the side wall. See that your toes are the same distance from the side edge of your mat, feet parallel. Fold forward over your legs. This time, interlace your fingers behind your back, right index finger on top. Reach the fist up, and the fist overhead. Lift your shoulders away from your ears so your neck is long. And see if you can reach the fist over a little more. Lifting, and then reaching back. Bring the fist to the bottom, opposite interlacing, same thing, fist up, over, shoulders lift away from your ears, back of the neck long so there's no wrinkles in the back of the neck. Keep lifting your kneecaps, the sides of the legs, the inner legs. And then straight from here, soften through the knees, reach your arms up, inhale, warrior 2, turning the left toes forward, front thigh parallel to the floor. Lift up through the left hip point, reach down through the outer back foot. Inhale, straighten the front leg, arms up. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, warrior 2. Inhale. Bend the front knee, side angle pose, elbow onto the thigh. Right arm alongside your ear. Lift out of your left shoulder. Wrap your left seat underneath you and press your right thigh bone back against that. Concave the belly back, and then see if you can take your fingertips to the floor. You can also have your hand on a block. Move the arm behind the ear, and that will help you to open across the chest. Look up. Front knee right over the ankle. Weight in the whole of that front foot. Outer back foot pressing. 3 more breaths. Shoulder away from the ear. Hands to the floor, just your feet, low lunge. Exhale, lower the back knee down. Pull your hips back, arms reach up, breathe in. Hands to prayer, take a twist over to the left. Again, you want to pull your belly back off your thigh. Push the left knee to the left, heart to thumbs. Squeeze your legs in towards each other. Squeeze your outer hips in. So you do have to lift your torso up a little more. Couple more breaths. Tendency will be for your chin to kind of curl in, so make sure that's not happening. Hands to the floor as you inhale around to your blocks. Come into your standing split. Lift the back leg up. Drop the right hip and roll the inner thigh up to the ceiling so the hips are square. If you're very open, lift through the lower belly. Again, it's the heart reaching to the floor, not the head. See the difference? Weight over the arch of that lower foot. Use the top hamstring to lift the leg higher. You can relax the head, relax the neck. Lift the arch of the left foot. One more breath, lift the leg a little higher, and then step your feet together. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Again, keep the weight even between the feet. Inhale, flat back. Weight over the arches. Exhale, fold. So you're making that perfect footprint again. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, maybe wrap your arms around the back of the legs and pull down. Again, if your hamstrings are tight, bend the knees so your belly lies onto your thighs. This time we're going to bend the knees, we're going to roll ourselves up, so we're stacking the vertebrae. Make sure you can see your toes the whole time until your arms come up, so the weight remains in your heels. Take a deep breath in. Now as you exhale, we're going to slowly come into Ardha Chandrasana. So you glide into it. Taking your right hand either onto a block or to the floor. Pull the right outer hip back and concave the belly back so you're not sinking into your lower back there. Keep the top heel in line with the top hip, so you might have to lift the leg a tiny bit higher. You can always measure it out with your arm like a ruler to see that your side body, hip, and leg are in line. Most important thing is that your lower knee is spinning forward in the same direction as your toes. The tendency will be for the leg to kind of go back, and that will twist the lower knee. So keep leaning back. Step your feet together. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Let's take that to the other side. So you find in a gliding moment, this slow motion triggers all the muscles in the body. So you build strength, stability. Pull the belly back, left outer hip wraps back. Outward rotation of lower leg, neutral rotation of top leg. Try and spin your chest towards the side wall. Press through the right heel, get longer and longer. Move the weight slightly back. The tendency will be to move the weight into the ball of the left foot, the standing foot. So again, have it right over the arch. And then chair pose. Feet together, arms up. Inhale, weight to the heels. Outer hip squeeze in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come into your flat back. Exhale, step the right foot to the back of the mat. Step back to plank pose without lifting the hips. Inhale. Child's pose, knees down, bottom back. Exhale. Roll up to sit on the heels. Exhale, take your fingertips behind you. Wrap your elbows in, lift the heart, maybe lift the hips, maybe open the throat. Exhale, bottom to the heels. Come forward into plank pose, tuck your toes, feet together, inhale. Now I want you to bend the knees to the right, pull back. Accordion plank. Try to lift your left knee a little higher. Square your shoulders to the floor and press your bottom towards your heels. Plank pose, inhale. Accordion plank, bend the knees to the left, pull back. Lift your right knee a little higher so it takes you deeper into the twist. Lift up through the right shoulder so you're not collapsing. Body square to the floor. Plank, inhale. Lower down, knees, chest, chin. Shoulder heads lift. Glide forward. Cobra spine, pull forward and up. Down dog. Pressing back. Bring inner feet to touch. Bend the knees, look forward, shoulder blades on the back, lower belly lifts. Hop forward. Inhale to your flat back. Just your feet if you need. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive up to standing. Breathe in, press your palms. Hands to prayer in front of the heart. Arms reach up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive and fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat. Lower the knee, this time hook your thumbs forward and up, crescent lunge, breathe in. Circle the arms back and down, step back to down dog, breathe out. Roll forward to plank pose, inhale. Child's pose, knees down, bottom back. Roll up, hands behind you, lift the heart, lift the hips, maybe open the throat. Exhale, sit on your heels. Come forward, plank pose, breathe in. Accordion plank, bend the knees to the right, pull back. Plank pose, shoot forward, inhale. Bend the knees to the left, pull back, shoulders square to the floor. Plank pose, inhale, look forward. Bend the elbows halfway and no lower. Upward dog, pull through. Knees are off the floor this time. Down dog, press back. Inhale your right leg up to the ceiling, hips square. Exhale, knee to nose, round the spine. Scorpion plank, shoulders stay over your wrist. Step the right foot between your hands. Rise up, high lunge, breathe in. Open up to warrior two, adjust your feet, breathe out. Peaceful warrior, lean back, inhale. Side angle pose, either elbow to the thigh or fingertips to the inner heel. Spiral to look up, lean back, right sit bone underneath you. Hands to the floor, low lunge. Adjust your feet, lower your back knee, arms up, breathe in. Pull your hips back, hands to prayer, twist to the right. Heart to thumbs, inhale. Stay there and twist deeper, exhale. Hands to the floor, breathe in. Standing split, lift the back leg up and fold, breathe out. Step the feet together, inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive up to standing, breathe in. Hands shoulder distance apart, sit back, Utkatasana, weight to the heels. King Dancer, hold onto your left ankle. Inhale, kick the foot back. Back to chair pose, exhale. King Dancer, hold onto your right ankle. Kick back, inhale. Chair pose, exhale. Take an inhalation to stand up. Swan dive and fold forward. Flat back, breathe in. Step the right foot to the back of the mat, breathe out. Lower your knee, hook your thumbs forward and up, crescent lunge. Circle the arms back and down. Step back to down dog. Roll forward to plank pose, breathe in. Child's pose, knees down, bottom back. Roll up to sit on the heels, take the fingertips behind you, lift the heart, the hips, maybe open the throat. Exhale, sit on your heels. Come forward into plank pose, breathe in. Bend the knees to the left, pull back, accordion plank. Plank pose, inhale. Knees to the right, pull back. Plank, inhale, look slightly forward. Size the neck lift as you lower. Upward dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Inhale your left leg up to the ceiling, hips square. Knee to nose, round the spine. Scorpion plank, breathe in. Step the foot between the hands, breathe out. Rising up to high lunge, inhale. Strong back leg, warrior two, exhale. Peaceful warrior, lift the left hip point. Side angle pose, exhale. Wrap your left seat underneath you, lean back, breathe in. Low lunge, adjust your feet, breathe out. Lower your back knee, arms reach up, pull your hips back. Hands to prayer, twist to the left. Heart to thumbs, inhale. Press your left knee to the left, exhale. Hands to the floor, tuck your back toes. Standing split, lift the back leg up and fold. Step the feet together, inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Bend the knees, chair pose, arms up. Ardha Chandrasana, right leg back, left hand to the floor. Back to chair pose, inhale. Ardha Chandrasana, left leg back, right hand to the floor. Chair pose, feet together, arms up, inhale. Swan dive and fold, exhale. Flat back, inhale, prepare. Jumping or stepping back, chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. Down dog, pressing back. 5 breaths, inhale. Exhaling 1. Inhale. Exhaling 2. Inhale. Exhaling 3. Inhale. And 4. Last one. Bring your inner feet to touch. Bend the knees, look forward. Hop your feet forward. Flat back, inhale. Folding forward, exhale. Reverse swan dive, breathe in. Utkatasana, breathe out. King dancer, hold onto your left ankle. Lift the heart. Exhale, Utkatasana. King dancer, hold onto your right ankle. Exhale, chair pose. Stand up, inhale. Swan dive and fold, exhale. Flat back, breathe in. Step your left foot to the back of the mat, breathe out. Lower the knee, hook your thumbs forward and up, crescent lunge. Circle the arms back and down, down dog. Roll forward, plank pose. Child's pose, exhale. Roll up, modified camel. Lift the heart, the hips, maybe open the throat. Exhale, bottom to your heels. Come forward, plank pose, inhale, lift the knees. Accordion plank, bend the knees to the right, pull back. Plank pose, inhale. Knees to the left, pull back. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale the right leg up to the ceiling. Knee to nose, shoulders over your wrist. Scorpion plank, breathe in. Step forward, breathe out. High lunge, arms up, breathe in. Warrior two, exhale. Peaceful warrior, breathe in. Side angle pose, breathe out. Inhale, look up. Hands to the floor, low lunge. Lower your back knee, arms reach up, breathe in. Pull your hips back, hands to prayer, twist to the right. Lift your heart to your thumbs. Now this time look down. See if you can tuck your back toes and lift your back knee off the floor. Lift the heart towards the thumbs, outer hip squeeze in. Pelvic floor muscles lift. Either stay here or some of you can take the right knee into the armpit, fingertips to the floor, right arm lifts. Maybe, take it into the bind. Lean back, 5 breaths. 4. 3. 2. Last one. Hands to the floor, inhale, standing split. Lift the back leg up and fold. Step your feet together, inhale. Fold forward over your legs, exhale. Bend the knees. Utkatasana, chair pose, arms up. Ardha Chandrasana. Right hand to the floor, left leg back. Either stay here or some of you can bend that top knee, catch hold of the ankle, lower the knee in line with the hip, and then kick the foot back. Keep pulling pull the lower belly back so the tail lengthens, and that will help you to lift out the right hip point again. Chair pose, feet together, arms up, inhale. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, exhale. Either stay here or bend that top knee. See if you can catch hold of the ankle. Roll the shoulder up to your ear to get the shoulder back. Then kick the foot back so the chest is open. Right knee in line with the hip. Left outer hip spirals back. Heart opens. Chair pose, arms up, inhale. Swan dive and fold, exhale. Flat back, breathe in. Step the right foot to the back of the mat, breathe out. Lower the back knee to the floor. Hook your thumbs forward and up, crescent lunge. Circle the arms back and down, down dog. Roll forward, plank. Knees down, bottom back. Now this time, maybe you can hold onto your heels. Otherwise, take the hands behind you. Lift your hips, lift the heart, full camel. Exhale, lower down. Come forward into plank pose, inhale. Bend the knees to the right, pull back. Plank, inhale. Knees to the left, pull back. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Belly in, down dog. Inhale your left leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, knee to nose, round the spine. Scorpion plank, shoulders over your wrist. Step the left foot forward. Rise up, high lunge, inhale. Warrior 2, open up. Exhale. Peaceful warrior, breathe in. Side angle pose, breathe out. Left sit bone underneath you, lean back. Low lunge. Lower your back knee, arms reach up, pull the hips back. Hands to prayer, twist to the left. Press your left knee to the left, heart to thumbs. This time either stay here or look down. Lift that back knee. Lift your belly off your thighs. Outer hips keep squeezing in. Maybe slide down to the armpit. Fingers to the outer heel. Left arm lifts. Either stay here or go for the full bind. 5 breaths. Back leg is straight. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Hands to the floor, inhale. Standing split, lift the back leg up and fold. Step your feet together, inhale. Fold forward over your legs. Bend the knees, chair pose. Tadasana, stand up. Step your feet back. Chair, breathe in. Bakasana, crow pose. Breathe out. Squeeze your knees in, lift your feet. Pull the heart through. Try to straighten your arms. Either step back to down dog, or see if you can jump back. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Inhale the right leg up to the ceiling, knee to nose. Scorpion plank, breathe in. Bring your right knee between your hands. Now you're going to slide your back knee forward. Squeeze all the air out between the legs. Open the feet wide for balance. Now if you find you can't lift up, have a bit more space between the knees. So it is a balance. Lengthen your tail. Lift your left arm up, bend the elbow. Press it down, draw it in. Either stay here or go for the full bind. Right shoulder rolls up and back. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Deep breaths. Try to slow the heart rate down. Release your arms, give your shoulders a little wiggle. Hands forward. Sit down between the heels. If you need to sit on a block, if your knees come undone, you can put a block under your bottom. Then take your right hand out to the right. Keep the left sit bone grounded and extend the left arm alongside your ear. Some of you can start to bend the right elbow to the floor, but the aim is to keep your left sit bone grounded. Maybe the elbow comes down. And if it does, you can have your elbow on a block too. Interlace your fingers behind the head and lean back. Try not to let the spine round forward. We're just lengthening the side of the spine, preparing us for the back bends, opening the shoulders. And then lift yourself up. So from here you could come forward, interlace the fingers, bring the head to the floor and lift up into headstand. Stay there for as long as you like. If you don't want to come into an inversion, bring your hands to the floor, tuck your toes, jump back through your chaturanga, up dog. If you're in headstand, slowly bring your feet to the floor and then come into your down dog. Let your head go. Inhale, lift your left leg in the air. Exhale, knee to nose around the spine. Scorpion plank, inhale. Knee between your hands, exhale. Slide your back knee forward, squeezing the air out between the knees. If you can't lift up, again, have that space between your knees. Feet as wide as your mat. And then lift up. Right arm up to the ceiling, bend the elbow, press it down, draw it in. Either stay here or go for the full bind. Left shoulder rolls up and back. Head presses back. Hips back, tail lengthens. Relax the shoulders, the sides of the neck, the jaw. Release the arms, give the shoulders a little wiggle. Sit down between the feet, either on a block or to the floor. Heels same distance from the side of the hips. Make sure the knees are together. Left hand to the left, right arm alongside your ear. You either stay here or start to lower that elbow down towards the floor or onto a block. If you've got the elbow down, maybe you can interlace your fingers behind the head, lean the head and heart back. Again, it's very important that your right sit bone is grounded. And then release. This time, lean back, open the legs like a can-can dancer. Place your feet onto the floor. Come down onto your backs. Just adjust this one sec. Arms alongside the body. You want to be able to graze the back of the heel with the middle finger. Pigeon toe your toes in slightly so your feet are definitely not turned out. Press your lower back into the floor. And then I want you to start to curl your tail up so your lower buttocks feel like they're engaged. The hamstrings are engaged just at the top. Again, don't let the knees widen. Keep the knees hugging in without the knees touching. So the hip points are in line with the knees. Either interlace your fingers here and get your shoulder blades underneath your back like we did earlier on, or take your hands next to your ears, preparing for wheel pose. Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow. Turn your fingers out slightly, open your hands a little wider, make sure your hair's out of the way. And then wrap your elbows in. So your aim is to try to keep your elbows hugging in, the same way as keeping your knees hugging in. So you draw to the midline. Now from here, come onto the crown of the head. Plug the elbows back towards the shoulders. Try to roll more to the forehead, and then press straight. Now see if you can straighten your legs, pressing your heart towards the back of your mat. Inner thighs roll down, lower buttocks lift a little higher. Armpits deepen, head relaxed. 3 more breaths. Press into your fingertips. Wrap your elbows in, look to the sky, elbows in, elbows in, elbows in, and then roll down the spine. Take a moment, let your knees just knock together. Either coming into round 2 of that, bridge or wheel. If you want to practice a drop back, know that you can do this with a wall behind you and reaching back for the wall, which is an easier way to start. Have your feet about hip distance apart. Move your hips back. Lift through the lower belly, lengthen your tail so the hamstrings engage, lower buttocks engage, so you have support for your back. From there, shoulder blades on the back, lift through the heart, lift up, forward and up. Hands on the hamstrings, keep lifting up, wrap the elbows in. Move. So once I go back, I won't be able to talk, but you want to be able to see the floor before you reach your hands back. Again, you can practice that against the wall, so your hands land on the wall, so you don't go so low. And that's how you eventually build into this pose. There'll be a tutorial on it. Chin to your chest. Elbows in, elbows in. Roll yourself all the way down. Let your knees nut together. Soften. Shouldn't feel any pain in your lower back. If you do, just know that you need to keep readjusting until this pose becomes completely comfortable. From all the poses, you should be able to lie straight into Shavasana. They should be complete in themselves. That's what we keep working towards. Bring your knees towards your armpits. As you pull your knees in, I want you to push your knees into your hands, and that will help you to keep your natural lumbar curve, so you're not rounding in your lower back. And that will also just stabilize the sacroiliac joint. It'll also stabilize the lower back after the back bending. Now bring your knees in. I want you to lift your head, wrap your forearms around the shins. Keep and hold on tightly. Now this time as your head comes down, your lower back will curl off the floor, but now your thighs are safely into your belly. It's kind of like a child's pose on your back. If it hurts, if it's too much, then just do the first position. And then rock yourself backwards and forwards along the spine. Just massaging up and down. You have to curl into a little ball. And the next time you come up, bring the soles of your feet together. This time your legs are in a diamond shape, and rather than the heels being close. This one's called Torasana rather than Baddha Konasana. You can take your arms underneath the legs. And this is the only forward bend that you actually want to round your spine. And eventually, the arch creates this perfect shape for your forehead to lie into. And if your head doesn't drop that far, you can put a block under the head. You can just relax the neck. But try not to pull. Try to soften. Be there for as long as you like. Bend your legs forward, arms reach up. Bend the knees if your hamstrings are tight. Fold. Belly on your thighs. Pressing through your heels. Draw your toes back towards your nose. Outer feet pull back, inner feet press forward. Kneecaps lift. Feel like you're sucking your legs in as you reach through the heels. So always integration first, then extension. So you pull into the joints first, and then you create the length, reaching through the bone. And then come into your Shavasana. Shoulder blades underneath you, so there's a little mini fish pose in the heart. Lengthen your tail, so your lower back feels long. And then relax everything into the floor. Hug your knees in towards your belly. Roll over onto one side. Try to breathe right behind the heart into the shoulder blades. Just to create more space there after all that back bending. A lot of the time we just breathe into the front of the lungs, even though we have more lung tissue in the back of the lungs. We tend to focus on more of what we can see rather than what we can't see. So we always teach our bodies, our minds to look into the unconscious spaces, to learn, to study ourselves so that we can grow. Slowly coming into a comfortable seated position. You can sit on a block or a blanket. Always know it's a good idea to do a few minutes of seated meditation after every class, which you can also find on Be More Yoga. Connect to your breath. Feel yourself grounded, and then reaching up into the sky. Your hands together in front of your heart. Happiness cannot be owned, earned, worn, or consumed. It's the act of living every single day with love, grace, and gratitude for what you already have. Take a deep breath in. May the light within me recognize the light, the truth, and the beauty within all of you. Namaste. Thank you for joining us on Be More Yogic. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. Namaste.